So a big report by Bloomberg has just been released stating that Bandai Namco is actually in some hard times right now. Yeah, allegedly Bandai Namco has plans that they are actively pursuing as we speak to cancel several of their future games as well as lay off about 200 of their current employees. That is of the roughly 1,300 employees they currently have. And there was actually a part of this report that I found kind of interesting. It was kind of talking about kind of a traditional Japanese way of like firing people or laying them off. I don't know how serious to take it, but it actually does sound like it is serious. Yeah, allegedly at Bandai Namco, they're bringing in these like 200 employees one by one into something called an expulsion room, where basically they just sit them there and they give them literally nothing to do. Yeah, they give them no tasks to work on, and then they just kind of expect them to resign. It sounds like that's in a way to avoid giving them like comp pay or severance pay, whatever you want to call it. Thought that was a bit of an odd, interesting part of the story. I didn't really know that about Japanese culture. I mean, to be fair, it's not far off from like American and Western culture. I mean, we don't have like specific rooms, I guess you take certain coworkers to if you want to try to make them resign. But yeah, I mean, we have heard of, I guess, odd stories of management doing odd things to make coworkers resign. But anyway, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. The main thing here is that, yeah, Bandai Namco, you know them, they are a huge video game company and just an all-around entertainment company. Yeah, it sounds like if this Bloomberg article is true, which I'm sure it is, they're very much struggling. I mean, they are a company worth about 20 billion US dollars right now. And it's crazy because they just had that Dragon Ball Sparking Zero game that just came out, I think like a week ago. And already it's broken records as I think like the best or the most profitable Dragon Ball game ever. Something like that. I hope I'm not botching that. Maybe I'm being really vague when I say that. But you get the picture. Like, this game has just been like universally acclaimed, and apparently it has sold very well. But it's clear that if this whole story is true, Bandai Namco, I'm sure, had plans to do these 200 layoffs and cancel these future games long before the recent Dragon Ball release. It kind of reminds me of like when Tango Gameworks was axed like a year after pumping out that like completely fantastic game Hi-Fi Rush. These things happen. Unfortunately, these decisions, like I said, usually they are like weeks or like months in the making, and it's odd when a game can come out and do really well, but already that studio had plans of, you know, axing certain employees or just kind of getting rid of the whole studio in general, which was the case in Tango Gameworks. Now, thankfully, Bandai Namco is not just completely shutting down, but to get rid of about 15% of their employees is pretty crazy, and a lot of people have pointed out from just the immediate reactions I'm seeing from this that, yeah, Bandai Namco, I mean, while they did just have a banger, you know, from the Dragon Ball game, they are not without their mistakes. Apparently, they have pumped out a lot of games recently that just have definitely missed the mark. One person mentioned Blue Protocol, and I thought that was interesting. I kind of forgot that while that is an Amazon game, it was also a Bandai Namco game. That was the failed MMORPG that started in Japan last year, and I believe was supposed to release worldwide next year, but it's actually going to have these servers shut down completely in, I think, about 3 months from now. And so, yeah, that was just a failed project before it could actually have its official launch. Looks like there's other examples of this as well with Bandai Namco. Just kind of a lot of projects that they don't seem to put in as much effort in as they should. Or maybe it's not an effort problem, maybe it's just kind of utilizing their resources, putting people on projects they should be on, gearing more attention toward projects that need more attention. It could be a lot of different stuff. And I mean, if you look at their catalog of games, they have a lot of IPs that, I mean, I don't know if they like actually own the entirety of these IPs, but I think they are like the sole developer of a lot of these games. So, for example, as part of this Bloomberg report, they are canceling a Naruto and One Piece game. It looks like they have worked on plenty of Naruto and One Piece games, and just like other random games as well, a lot of like anime type games like Bleach, Digimon, Sword Art Online, My Hero Academia, and they do have some stuff that is coming up next year that does give me hope. Little Nightmares 3 is one that I think will do very well, but I don't know, yeah, overall, you know, Bandai Namco, I think they are a successful game company. I don't think they're bad by any means, and like I said, they are worth several billion dollars, so of course you can't take them not seriously. I mean, they are a serious contender when it comes to game development, but I don't really know if it really just comes down to one thing that they've been doing recently. I'm sure it's just a lot of different things that they now need to work on, because yeah, there's definitely some sort of problem. If this report is true, which I think it is, is, and they are actually getting rid of 15% of their employees. What are they going to do to bounce back? Are they going to end up like Ubisoft, where their stock and their performance just goes down incredibly now? We'll have to wait and see. I certainly hope not. I really do like Bandai Namco. They have a lot of great games, but it sounds like now a lot of their future games that they were working on are now dead projects.